What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm making this video. I got some roster move stuff to talk about, some injury information to give you guys. Also, I have a couple short articles that I want to read to you, as well as I watched Douglie-Do-Wrong's video on this whole Minkah shit going down. And so I have some things to say about that as well. But let's first start off with the roster moves and the injury news. So first of all, they brought the other day, I forgot to report this, but the other day, Jonathan Ledbetter got put on IR with, I believe, a foot issue. And so they brought Tank Carradine back. So now Tank Carradine is back and he is on the 53. Jonathan Ledbetter is injured and now on the injured reserve. So again, like I said, injuries are going to be a major factor, especially on the defense, because they're going to get worn down super hard, super early, and lo and behold. So there's that replacement. Also, though, Julian Davenport apparently is injured, and to the point where he's not for sure not going to be able to play. The left tackle we just picked up, right before last game, Jamarcus Webb would be the next man up, but they're talking about possibly putting him on IR. They might not, though, because they already have a couple guys on IR that they might want to bring back halfway in the year. And you can only bring 2 guys back off of IR. So they might just keep him injured on the roster. So they might even waste a spot, right? I mean, I would just get rid of him. Just get rid of him. Waive him injured and get a fucking new player. But I don't trust this regime to make any smart decisions. So, wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't put it past them if they just kept, this injured dude that is absolutely 100% useless and then just make him inactive every week. Whatever. It wouldn't surprise me. So that is, happening though. So some more flux on that offensive line. It also looked like Rashad Jones and Albert Wilson are not practicing due to injuries. Albert Wilson has the calf. I'm not sure what Jones's injury was. I don't think I saw anything that actually said what his injury was, but he's not. Yeah, so there's that. Also, so there's a couple other quick things I want to talk about before I get to, the stuff that Doug was saying or whatever. One is there are other reports, and Doug did say this too, right, in his last video, and even in this video he just made, he's still not ready to admit. And look, I'm calling him out because I respect him and because I want him to be better and I want him to do better. He just needs to stop being so naive and just ignoring the things that are right in front of his face. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me how an intelligent person can still fuck, because I think he's a smart guy. He needs to wake up, man. Anyway, so, but he said that he wasn't convinced that anybody really wanted trades last week. And now it's out and open that Minkah wants a trade, and there are reports that there is for sure another veteran player on the team that wants to fucking GTFO, right? And there were reports that there were at least 3 players. It's going to continue to get worse as we continue to lose and get our asses just handed to us. And Doug was saying in his video, okay, so I guess I'll start, intertwining. But Doug was saying in his video that at some point, it's gonna get worse, and that, he'll lose whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's already happened, right? Like, all of that stuff has already happened. The dude has already lost the locker room, and people don't want to be here. New players don't want to come here. you know, players that are here want to get the fuck out, right? This is only his second year here, bro. He's only in year 2 of his rookie contract. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. But, you know, by the way, so it does look like he is going to be playing, and I do have an article to read about it later, but he said he's focused on the game and so on and so forth. But Brian Flores said he's not aware that any other players would want trades, which I can't imagine is true, because there's plenty of talk that there are other players. It's going to come out at some point. I don't know why he insists on just lying to people. Like, it's just blatant and brazen, and it's disgusting. Anyway, so also though, real quick, Omar Kelly had tweeted out, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, don't think that Minkah isn't talking to Tua. So, I mean, there's that, right? So we want to, there's all this talk that we're tanking for Tua, and that, you know, we're going to pick him with the first overall pick. He was teammates with Minkah Fitzpatrick at Alabama. By the way, I also wanted to mention Minkah Fitzpatrick came from a program that has one of the best defenses in college sports and one of the best defensive-minded head coaches in Nick Saban in the entire football community. So the fact that he wants to get the fuck out of here so fast because he's completely lost confidence, total confidence in his head coach who's supposed to be supposedly a defensive-minded genius. Bruh, come on. That is a major red flag, right? Anyway, so you don't think he's talking to Tua and being like, bruh, you do not want to be here. This play. So what if our first round pick, the quarterback that we're supposedly tanking for and that everybody's clamoring about and so on and so forth, what if he's like, yeah, no, I retire or whatever, right? Because he could just be like, yeah, you know what? I think I've decided that I'm going to retire from football. But then guess what? As soon as all that blows over and the draft's done and we've picked somebody else or, you know, however that works, then Tua could be like, oh, you know what? I've changed my mind again. I unretire. Or whatever. There's some way that he can avoid that. He doesn't actually, draft picks don't actually have to go to the place that they get picked in, right? So they can refuse. It's super extreme, but that's the level of which, that's the level that we're at right now with this organization because of how toxic it is. People don't want to be here, right? So, anyway, I mean, I guess, you know, I've already been tying it in. So let's talk about it, right? So Doug mentioned that, you know, Minkah's been unhappy since training camp. He pointed out since his mother tweeted. It kind of sounded like, to me, now I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, because he wasn't explicit, and I'm just kind of, you know, speculating. But it kind of sounded like, I mean, throughout this video, honestly, throughout his video, it kind of sounded like he was trying to defend Brian Flores a lot. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, but let me continue on and that'll bear out. So, but which is true though, he has been unhappy since training camp. He made it kind of seem, my point with that was, is it kind of made it seem like Minkah's decision was swayed by his mother, which, I mean, why not? It's his fucking mother, so, and they have a super close relationship if you paid attention to how he talked about, you know, growing up. So that wouldn't be surprising at all or unreasonable, but also, because remember, she tweeted out about how, you know, she was not happy with the way they were moving him around so much. And that's his chief complaint, is that he's being moved around so much, right? And he said at the time, well, she's not wrong, you know, whatever. He, you know, he said some of the PC things about, you know, the coaches do what they do, blah, 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 bullshit, right? But then he was like, but then he was true and he was real, you know, and he was like, you know, but she's not wrong. She's not wrong, right? And so, Yeah, he has been unhappy, and they have been using him. There were reports that he played like 3 or 4 different positions in this last game, in this first game, right? And look, he does do a lot of good things really well. That doesn't mean you use the player at like 4 or 5 different positions. That's ridiculous, right? He does have a main position. His main position is free safety. He's played boundary corner. He's played slot and been really good at it. He played a lot of it in college, and he played it a good amount last year and did very well at it. But his most natural and best position is free safety. Okay? And having him interchange a little bit between like that and slot probably wouldn't be a big deal. But of course he doesn't want to be, and I'm sure he'd be happy to be moved around a little bit. But with the way that they're handling it and just expecting him, and they told him next game it's going to be totally different. Why the fuck would he want that? And he even made comments about that. Like, why would you want that? Right? Anyway, I mean, it's like, and then so he also brought up about how in this defense, you know, there is a lot of position flexibility. Now, a lot of what the examples he used were, he said that, you know, the defensive line would change out and rotate, right? So I agree that like defensive tackles, you would rotate them in. Why? Because you want to keep them fresh, and it allows them to go hard every play. They're really big dudes pushing really hard with a lot of force and opposition against them, right? And a lot of strong guys powering into them play after play. So it makes sense, right? Same thing with the defensive ends. Also moving them around on the offensive line or the defensive line, so they're over different offensive linemen does make sense, because that helps confuse the offense a bit, right? So things like that obviously do make sense. And then he went on to say sometimes they might drop back. Okay, yeah, sure. Sometimes they might drop back. Sometimes the safeties might come up. Okay, yeah, that's true. All those things are true, but they're still playing the position that they're in, right? You might ask them to move around and do, you know, different things, but there's still the safety that comes up. Just because Rashad Jones comes up and plays in the box doesn't mean he's not playing the position of safety. He is. What they're asking him to do is actually full-on play different positions. They're asking him to play both of the safety spots, nickel corner, boundary corner, even linebacker at times. That's crazy. Crazy. And Brian Flores apparently has told him, you know, behind the scenes, that's how it is, bro. You just got to deal with it. Why would he want to deal with that? That's insanity. Insanity. That's fucking crazy. If you have him as a slot corner and or as a free safety, and occasionally you have him come play up in the box, which he's not really suited to. He's got the build and skill set for free safety, right? Rashad Jones is a little bit bulkier and a thumper, made for kind of in the box. But that's why he's had a lot of shoulder injuries, right? Because it's brutal, right? So it'd be even worse for Minkah, who's got a little bit thinner frame and is a little bit more rangy and is good as a free safety because he can really make those plays on the ball. But even if you have him like swap out him and Rashad Jones, because Rashad can play free safety too. So if you had them like swap up occasionally or whatever and to confuse defenses, yeah, okay, great, right? Like if you do have him come on a safety blitz occasionally, yeah, great. Right? Those things are fabulous, and that's how you get creative with your defense and keep guys guessing on the offense. You don't ask a natural free safety who can play slot corner, and that position does tailor to his skill set a lot more than some of the other positions like boundary or linebacker, for fuck's sake. But Rashad Jones or TJ McDonald could transition a little bit more into linebacker because they got the bigger frame. Anyway, right, having him do some little things like that, yes, that makes sense. Asking him to play 4 different positions, actually play those positions, that's insanity. Also, it does need to be noted that, you know, the Dolphins are not actively trading Minkah, and he is obviously going to be, you know, Brian Flores said it, that he's going to be in, you know, a big part of this upcoming game plan. You know, one of the articles I'm going to read you, he said, you know, obviously right now I'm focused on this, but he's clearly unhappy. Who knows if he's going to be, you know, willing to give it 100% and stuff like that. I mean, based off of his work ethic and stuff, I imagine that every play that he's on the field, he's going to give it his all, and so on and so forth. But there has to be a little bit in the back of his mind of like, yeah, you know, though, I'm not really trying to get myself hurt either. So I am going to be at least a little bit conscious of, you know, where I decide to throw my body and how I decide to throw it on, you know, on the line. Right? Like if Brian Flores keeps, you know, if he makes him play linebacker or something and puts him in a position where, you know, he could potentially get hurt, you know, and just is like, well, yeah, sorry, bro, that's the scheme I'm throwing out there, and this is the position that I'm telling you got to play, whether you like it or not. Nah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm fully on Minkah's side if he was to even do something so extreme as be like, yeah, no, I'm not going in the game. Or, yeah, I'm not going to fucking, you know, put my body on the line, you know, in some crazy way. Like, I'll go, you know, maybe I'll go out on the field, but if I feel like I'm going to be in some fucking possible, you know, harm, like, nah, bro, because this is insanity. Anyway, let's continue on, though, because Doug kept saying that, like, he thinks that this could be fixed or this could be mended, and he offered a solution. He says, well, you know, in the specific case, but see, and this is why Doug is naive, because he's not looking at the big picture here, but he said, because he's looking at the specific case, and I think that this solution could help the situation, but the damage is already done. So his solution was, we'll just put him at safety or slot corner or boundary corner, right, and then just leave him there. Well, the damage is already done, though. You've already lost the dude's trust. Not only that, though, it's not only that, it's all the other things. Trading Tunsil, clearly not giving a shit about being competitive, and then lying to everybody's fucking face about it, right? You know, and all this shit, right? So, like, I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that, right? It's a lot deeper than just the position thing, right? I'm sure that is super irritating to him and he doesn't like it, and that's bad enough. But then it's all the other shit on top of it. The way he treated Kenny Stills and trading Tunsil and just, you know, dismantling absolutely everything, you know, across the board on this team. It's just absolute insanity. He also talked about how, you know, he needs to be transparent with his team and his players, and he needs to talk to them, and he needs to express to them his plan. Look, it's late for that too, bro. And because it's blatantly clear. Oh, that's what he was saying. That was the point I was really trying to make earlier when I started talking about Doug. Is he was saying that at some point it's going to be blatantly obvious that we're taking. No, bro, it is now. It is now. It's been that way even before we played games because of the approach that they're taking. Like, that's why I've been saying this for months. It's because it's not logical. You can't look at yeah, by the way, reports are that they did officially place Julian Davenport on injured reserve. So only 2 of the 3 guys on injured reserve will be able to come back. Anyway, so that means Jamarcus Webb has to step up. Anyway, so, I mean, bro, like, it's just not logical, right? Like, if you look at all of the things that they've been doing. By the way, Cam Wake's killing it in Tennessee. Just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, like, I mean, the writing has been on the wall for months. People have just been choosing to ignore it, right? So I don't think at all that this can be fixed. You know, I don't see there being, you know, any kind of feasible, you know, aside from getting rid of the toxicity. But to get rid of the toxicity, that means you have to get rid of Brian Flores. You got to get rid of Chris Greer, and Stephen Ross needs to get the fuck out. By the way, also, the more I've been thinking about this, and with the way that this craziness just keeps getting amplified, look, you know, I don't have a super massive supporting yet, or subscriber base yet. I am growing. I am getting more followers like every day, or subscribers every day, and I appreciate that, and I hope you guys keep spreading this out there, because I'm putting out the truth, man. And so I hope you guys do that, and we are growing. But look, I'm just about to say fuck it and just start the petition. Just get it going, and that shit can build with my subscriber base. I'll just keep putting the message out there. The petition for Stephen Ross to sell the team and step down as majority owner, because the fish rots from the head down, and he is the core of the problem. He's done, you know, he's lost almost all of my respect because of how he approached this Donald Trump fundraiser thing. But to be fair, he has done a lot of good things in the community and stuff, and he did build the stadium out of his own money and believes the owners should, and he does get credit for that, and I commend him for those things. But his football decisions have been atrocious, and so yeah, I mean, I'm done with him. He needs to step down and sell the team. Anyway, so I don't think that these things can be fixed other than that, right? So at some point, I am actually just gonna say fuck it, and I'm gonna start that, and then I'll put the link to the petition in my videos. Matter of fact, I don't know if it'll be in this video. I'll put the link in the description box of my future videos. It probably won't be this one because I want to actually get it started. I will officially announce it in a video, but I'm just gonna do it, man. Fuck it. And that shit can grow right alongside my channel, and we will get there, and we will get this fixed. No, look, I'm all about giving you the facts, the data, and then as best evaluation and perspective that I possibly can. But I'm also not one of those people that just feels like I'm just gonna sit here and bitch and moan and complain about it. I also want to do something. So let's do something together. As we continue to grow, we will grow this petition. I will get that shit going, and we will move forward with this, because we need to have change, and we need it now. Otherwise, we're gonna have to suffer through, you know, potentially a few years of this shit, and then, you know, a full breakdown again. But if Stephen Ross is heading it, it's not gonna go in a positive direction. So we need to get it to we need to get it now. Yeah, man. So anyway, look, I mean, like I said, guys, I've been keeping it real with you from Jump Street, and I know there's a lot of y'all out there that, you know, that are smart, that are logical people, that are seeing this too. A lot of people just haven't discovered my channel yet and haven't seen this. That's why I ask that you guys spread this around, tell your friends and family and stuff. But there are a handful of just, you know, I mean, either dumb people, like, look, I mean, there are people out there that are just incapable of seeing it because they're just not intelligent enough. But there are also a lot of people out there that are just choosing not to see it, man. And like Doug, for example, like I said, I respect him. I think he is a smart guy. And I think he's just being super naive and allowing his emotions to kind of get the better of him. What I mean by that is he wants so bad, and I do too, right? But obviously our approaches are different. He wants so bad for this to not be the reality that he's just trying to will it into existence. And unfortunately that doesn't work, right? So what works is being honest about it and then taking action. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And look, you know, honestly, that's a good place to end this video, because I've really given you everything that I have, and I've said my piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, guys, please do spread this around. Tell your friends, tell your family, you know, post it on social media, like follow me on Twitter and all that stuff. I post my videos on there, on Reddit, on Pinterest, on Facebook, a bunch of different places. So, but help me to spread it and get the word out there, man, because the more we grow, the more, you know, leverage in that kind of in a position or in a situation of, you know, having a petition that we could have, and we could actually affect some change. So if you guys do like what I have to say, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. That is the most important. Hit the like button. It helps the channel. Hit the bell if you want to get the alerts from my videos. Make sure you leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.